Here we are again for another major conversation. We've got some weird light coming in through the window here, sun setting. And today, Brad, we decided to talk about the question that we get all the time again is, what should I do after high school?
Yeah.
And that's a big question.
Yeah.
That is a big question.
It is. That's the $1 million question. I think everybody
Well,
is
the cost of college
asking.
is the $1 million question.
Yeah, I know. Seriously. Yeah. I don't think that the challenge with that is, of course, there's no straight line to the answer.
No.
It's not like this is what you should do. It's up to that individual and what they're trying to accomplish, obviously. But
Right.
I think we've kind of drilled it down to at least a few options. I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, there's really, only a handful of paths you can take,
hmm
so
So
I'd
it
say
really, you can go to college, right?
go to college is one for
You
sure.
could, and I'm gonna try to remember all these here. So you can go to college.
Hmm.
You could join the military.
Like I did.
We talked
I
about like
joined the
you did.
military. Yes.
You
Yep.
could you could jump on a fishing boat like you did. Talk about
Yeah, no, it's not. That's generally
If
not
you
one
saw
of the
our last
options.
major conversation, Brad was stuck in the middle of the ocean smelling like cod. Just to catch you up to speed. So,
Yeah.
um, no, but you could. So college is a good choice for a lot of people.
Yes.
You know, military is definitely an option. You
Hmm.
could do that gap year in work. Um,
Going
and
to, and the other one is, I think, more and more students are considering is going into a vocational school and pursuing
right,
trades. And I think, considering the huge demand across our country for carpenters and plumbers and everybody, that I think
Mhm.
a lot of parents are looking at that and going, "Wow, they're making really good money. Maybe you should
Yeah,
consider going into an apprenticeship in the trades. That's a real
right.
option."
I mean, it's such a great career choice. I mean, I know I can't find a plumber if my life depended on it.
No, I
You
know
know,
they're huge demand.
and
Electricians too.
yeah, and I think not we're in that self-discovery business, so I think we're the guys that are always going to say to pause a little bit and really try to figure out what is important to you and what makes you tick and what are you naturally matched up with. And
Absolutely.
I think regardless, if and this is what we tell our students and the parents of our students is, it doesn't really matter what choice you make, but as long as you have the information to make the choice beforehand,
Hmm.
you're going to do okay.
I agree. And that's the thing though. So it's what the question is, what to do after high school. So if you consider, if you're in a situation where you start asking yourself that in May, the year that you graduate, you probably sat on that
Right.
for a little too long. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
You
that's
probably
something.
waited a bit too long.
Yeah,
But I
that is.
mean, actually, you did. But again, you're so young at that age that I think we were saying in our last video that people put a lot of pressure on themselves
Yeah.
that they're going to fall behind, in life, and you're really not going to at any time that you find yourself wondering and you feel that little like that impulse to go in a different direction
Mhm.
or get more. I think that really is the time when you should be stopping and doing a little bit of that self-reflection.
And that's my point is, that self-discovery, you can, do it right through, but ideally it's something you start percolating, maybe your junior year,
Right.
and because
Right.
at that point it's becoming real, and
Yeah.
you're going to start getting prepared for the SATs, the ACTs, and start
Yeah. All
really
the CTs.
all the CTs. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, ultimately, I think the reason why this is such an important question is that the traditional course of action that in most high schools pushes to go to college, because if you go
Mhm.
to college you'll be successful, you make more money, et cetera, et cetera. And of course that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on students to figure it out. Do I want to go to college versus the other options we laid out?
Mm-hmm.
The problem is with going with that option, of course, is that it costs so much money.
Right.
And, with the wrong, if you decide to, to go to college and pursuing the wrong career or major, as I mean, that's why major choices in business,
Right.
it could be a $30,000 to $40,000 mistake. And we see it all
Yeah.
the time. We see
Or
it
more.
all
It
the
could be
time
a forty
or
thousand
more.
dollar a year
I
mistake.
know,
And,
exactly.
it really is. I mean, the fact that I always come back to, and if you're watching this, I want you to think about this. And this blew me away. And I think you first showed me this stat, is that globally, 85% of people do not like their work.
Mhm.
And
I
think about
know.
what a tragedy that is.
It is. I
Think
know.
about how messed up that is. Like
Mhm.
85% of the people who work get up and go, "Oh God, I got to go to work again."
Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't,
Yeah.
when you're trying to figure out, what do I want to do after high school?
Mhm.
It's okay. What do I want to do after high school, but then for a longer period of time as well?
Yes. Yes.
We're
Good
not
point.
talking like the next year. We're talking career.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
it really keeping that stat in mind. You want to be part of that 15%.
Mhm.
And the only way you're going to do it, if you're struggling with this question, if you're struggling about what to do after high school, and you're looking at college and you're going, "Oh my God, that's really expensive." And then you're, "Okay, well, I really don't want to do the military, but I'm really not sure what I want to do for a job."
Yeah.
Take the time and really do some deep reflection, whether you do it through major choice or not.
Yeah.
Whether you do it on your own or through a company like ours, take that time. We
Absolutely.
see hundreds of students, and we work with so many people that are glad that they took the time to do that self-reflection before taking their next step. And we just
Mhm.
had a parent last week say that we saved them $100,000,
Yeah. Yeah.
because their kid was about to make $100,000 mistake,
Yeah.
and that was really rewarding.
Absolutely.
Seeing that
Yeah.
email, I was just like, "Oh wow."
Let's talk about that. So risk. So okay, I'm a high school student, and they're probably not assessing it. Maybe you're, as a viewer, you may be assessing it this way or not. But let's talk about risk, right? And what kind of risk you may be, you know, by each option, how much risk you might be in by going to college. Well, that's a monetary risk. Obviously, you have that risk, and then joining the military. Naturally, there's a risk in joining the military. Could you be
Mhm.
sent overseas? Again, that's not so much of a financial risk because you are going to get
Right.
paid while you're going. In many military benefits will cover school. That's the other
Mhm.
option. It's a great option. I did it. It paid for my in-state tuition. I went to UMass.
Right.
It was completely covered, which was fantastic. But there was a risk. I
Mhm.
could have very well been sent overseas, and I didn't. And a lot of my
Right.
friends did, but I didn't. Trade schools and vocational schools. You look at that, and I got to tell you, there isn't. I can't think of a lot of risk associated with pursuing that path.
Right.
You go down, and if you want to become a plumber, you get yourself an apprenticeship, and you work through it, and you get paid while you're learning. Which, of all these options, that seems like a pretty good
Right.
one.
And I'll throw something else. I'll throw something else out there that people used to do all the time, and I don't think it happens that much anymore. Is finding a job that really interests you, finding a career path that you're passionate about, and then going to a company and saying, "Hey, listen, I will work for whatever you want to pay me because I am passionate about this."
Yeah.
And
Yep.
there are several stories about people who have become presidents of companies
Yeah.
because they went and knocked on the door and found the right person and said,
Yeah.
"Listen, I believe in what you're doing. Let me
Mhm.
do it." And then
Mhm.
showed up every day and worked their butt off and created this beautiful career path out of themselves. So there is that dynamic and non-traditional way to get into different careers, and whether it be a trade or a professional career, people right now and companies right now are looking for dedicated people who can show up and work hard every day,
Yeah.
um, with
Absolutely.
some passion. So that's maybe even another path that you can take. I mean, I know I see in my other business, I see young people all the time,
Yep.
and the ones that I go right out of my way to hire are the ones that show up and are ready to do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And risk associated with a gap year. I mean, we talked about that during our last
Mm-hmm.
session, and that that gap trap can be a risk.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously following in, getting comfortable, getting yourself a job, not doing the self discovery. We kind of covered that, but that is a risk. And
Right.
we see a lot of students fall into it. Next thing, 1 year turns into 2 years, which turns into 3 years, and they're
Mm-hmm.
sitting there and they're going, "Oh man, I've been spending 5 years in this dead end job, not doing what
Yep.
I know I'm meant to do, and what happened to the time?" And that is a definite risk that we see. But
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
the only other risk or the only other option I could think of is you just hide in your parents' basement and hope they don't find you. And I mean, that might be an option too. I don't know.
There are
So
there are hundreds of thousands of basements with hundreds of thousands of high school graduates hunkered in front of PlayStation 5s right now, just hoping their parents find them.
yeah,
I
that's
know
right.
that for sure.
That's right.
Sell PlayStation 5s. There you go.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, well, great. All right. Well, hopefully this helps, a handful of people who are, considering this, these options and looking around for what they should do as the next step. And
Yeah,
great.
a
Awesome.
lot of it
Okay.
is a lot of it is showing up. That's what
Ab-
it is.
Absolutely.
Show up for your
Absolutely.
life.
Yeah. And don't forget to check out majorchoice.com. And, if you have a chance to visit our YouTube channel, we have all kinds of videos that are perfect for students that are trying to figure out that next step. So great.
Yeah.
All
Thanks for
righty.
watching.
Thank you. All right.
Have a good one, guys.